What is up, my ducks and drakes? Welcome to the Crawdad Lake, and today we'll be reading chapters 10 through 12 of I Could See 2, a Sanderside's fanfic by ariww19. If you'd like to check out the fanfic itself or the author, links will be in the description below for you to check out their amazing work. Before we get into today's video, I'd like to bring up that I now have an Etsy shop where I sell candy, not like Dum-Dums and Hershey's and Snickers. I mean K-A-N-D-I, which is the beaded bracelets and octopi you see around in my videos. So if you'd like to check out any of that, the link will be in the description and forever will be from now on. So, yay! Without further ado, Chapter 10. After school, I make my way to the front of the school. When I see Roman, I make my way over to him. He's with Darren. I sneak up behind him, and I cover his eyes from behind to tell him to guess who it is. It's either my adorable boyfriend or the cold hands of death. He jokes. Death. I tell him. He laughs and turns to look at me. My arms wrap around his shoulders. Who knew death was so hot? He points out. Aw, just for that, I'll let you off the hook, I say, smiling. How can you two be so adorable, but so cringe-worthy? Darren asks us. I unwrap my arms from Roman and turn to Darren. Roman wraps his arms around me from behind. Your face is cringe-worthy, I say with a smirk. Real mature, Darren says, but laughs nonetheless. I turn back to Roman again. Come back to my place? I ask him. He takes a second and thinks and then nods. Our other friends arrive and we start to say goodbyes. Before we leave, Club gets our attention. Do you guys want to come by to my house tomorrow? Club asks everyone. My parents want to meet my friends, he adds sheepishly. We'd love to, Patton says. Everyone agrees. Finally, I start to walk back to my house with Roman. We reach my house after a 5-minute walk. When we arrive, I don't see my mom's car outside, so I assume she must be gone. Mom? I call into my house. No reply. She must be at work, I say to myself. I lead Roman through the house to my bedroom. We walk inside my room and I close my door. Roman puts down his bag and takes a seat on my bed. After a second, I put down my own bag and walk over to him. As soon as I'm close enough, he reaches out and grabs my waist. Shall we finish what we started? He asked. I smile and stand between his legs. Absolutely, I say as I lean down to kiss him softly. My hands cup his face as I slowly kiss him. He tries to speed up, so I pull away just a bit. Slow down. I want to try something, I tell him. He nods and I lean to kiss him softly. Slowly, I deepen our kiss. During our kiss, I move to sit on his lap, straddling him. After a second of our tongues fighting for dominance, I pull back. As I pull back, I take his bottom lip in between my teeth, pulling gently. I softly kiss him again. Finally, I move my lips to the inside of his mouth. I kiss his jaw and work my way down, leaving soft kisses the whole way. Right now, my arms are wrapped around his shoulders. I unwrap my arms and push him back to where he's lying on the bed. This gives me easier access to his neck. I give a couple kisses on the neck and shoulder blades before going back up and kissing his lips. When I get back to his lips, he rolls over so that he's on top of me. His hands find his way to mine, and our fingers intertwine. He's kissing me just as softly as our bodies push together. His kisses drive me insane. He finally pulls away after a few minutes of us making out. He stares into my eyes for a long second. I love you, he tells me. A smile forms on my face. I already knew that, but hearing him finally say it is something else. I love you too, I tell him in return. The smile he gives me takes my breath away. I really do love you so much, I say again as I caress his cheek. I focus his soul, and right behind his aura I see a smaller one that matches mine. When I focus on my own soul, I see a smaller aura that matches his. I never want to lose you. Even if for some reason we break up, I still want you to stay a part of my life. No matter what happens between us, I'll always be here for you. You're my everything, my soulmate. I tell him softly. His eyes widen slightly. He probably didn't expect me to say something like that, but I needed to. I needed him to hear those words. His mouth is slightly open as he stares at me, almost like he's trying to find out what I meant. I'll always be by your side too, no matter what, and what may happen. You're my everything too. I'll love you evermore. One day, I'll say my vows to you, and that's a promise, he finally says to me. I smile and pull him into a deep kiss. As I'm kissing him, I start to pull his shirt up. Virgil, honey, are you here? My mom's voice calls from the living room. Roman pulls back from our kiss and rests his head on my shoulder and sighs. In my room, I call out as we both sit up. Roman stands up and grabs his bag. He walks over to my desk and sits down, and I smile at him as he smiles back and pulls out his homework. I stand up and leave my room after giving him a quick kiss. Hi, honey, how was school? My mom asks as we walk into the kitchen. Good, I tell her. Is Roman here? She asks and I nod. Ask him if he'd like to stay for dinner. We're eating out, she tells me with a smile. With a nod, I walk back to my room. I ask him if he wants to, and he says yes. So I go back and tell my mom. Honey, your nose. She points out. I touch under my nose to see a black liquid. I used Soul Cleanse today, I tell her while I grab some napkins from the kitchen drawer. On who? She asks. I tell her what happened. That's great that you helped her, sweetie, she tells me. Well, I'll be in my room with Roman if you need anything, I tell her. She nods and I go back to my room. Once there, I grab my backpack and pull out my homework. A few hours pass and I'm with Roman and my mom sitting in the living room watching Dad's Silence and eating McDonald's. When we finish eating, Roman gathers his bag to head home. I'll see you tomorrow, baby. Love you, he says and kisses me goodbye. Love you too, I tell him. After he leaves, I go back to my room and gather some clothes. I take a quick shower and head to my bed. The next morning, I wake up and get ready for school. Dark gray skinny jeans and a white t-shirt with my black hoodie. I throw on my black and white Converse as well. Now dressed, I head into the bathroom to brush my teeth. After that, I go into the kitchen and make myself a bagel with cream cheese and Crafter's jelly. Then I head off to school while listening to music. When I get to school, I see Ethan and Club sitting in the grass. Club is sitting in Ethan's lap as the two talk about something. Both of their souls are calm and happy, but Ethan's has a dark blue tint to it. I'll ask him later. Hey, lovebirds, I say sitting across from them. Hey, they both greet me. Soon our other friends begin to arrive. First Darren, then Logan, followed by Pat, and lastly Roman arrives. Hey, baby, he says as he sits next to me. Hey, I say before kissing him. School goes by pretty quickly, and before I know it, the final bell rings. I make my way to the front of the school, where my friends are waiting for me. We start our walk to Club's house. As we're all walking, I joke around with my friends. We have to cross a big street on our way there. We wait patiently for the light to change. Club bends down to tie his shoe as the others start to cross the street. I stay behind with him. The guys get to the other side of the street when Club and I start crossing. We get halfway across the street when I sense a chaotic soul coming at us fast. I turn my head to see a speeding car. The car slams on the brakes, but it's not fast enough. Club! I yell and I push him out of the way. The next thing I know, everything goes black. Virgil? Wake up, Virgil. It's time to get up. My grandmother's voice calls out. I turn my head to see her standing there. Grandma! I yell with happiness. I try to run to her, but it's like an invisible force is holding me back. Not yet, sweetheart. I'll be here when it's time, she tells me. Time? I ask. That's when the memory of me pushing Club out of the way flashes through my mind. I groan and slowly open my eyes, only to have to shut them again due to the blinding white light. Grandma? I say, but my voice is still raspy. Virgil, wake up, honey. It's your mom. My mom's voice says in return. She sounds like she's been crying. I use Soul Search to see 4 familiar souls around me. Mom? I say as I open my eyes. My eyes open and I look over at her. My head hurts. Actually, my everything hurts, I tell her. Virgil? Another voice speaks up. I look beside my mom to see Roman. He looks tired. Hey, I say to him as he grabs my hand. I take the chance to look around the room. When I look to the other side of my bed, I'm lying in, I see Ethan and Club. What happened? I question. You pushed me out of the way, Club says in tears as tears start to fall down his face. Right. The car. Are you okay? I ask him. He looks at me with disbelief. I'm fine, he says. Don't cry. I'm alive, aren't I? I say as I try to chuckle, but it hurts. Only 'cause the car managed to slow down enough that it didn't kill you, Ethan says as he pats my shoulder. I smile at them and turn my head back towards my mom and Roman. Am I in the hospital? I ask as my mom nods. When I ask how long, she says it'll be almost 3 weeks. We'll be outside, Ethan says and grabs Club's hands. Club smiles at me as he leaves the room. A minute passes when my dad rushes into the hospital room. Behind him is Bree and Selena. Virgil, how are you? My dad asks me. I'm fine, a bit sore. I think, but end up just nodding. I look at Bree to see unshed tears in her eyes. Tears for your big brother? I ask her. She scoffs as a single tear falls. Don't be stupid, she mutters. I smile at her. She holds back for a minute, but finally, carefully, she hugs me. Don't scare me like that, you big idiot, she tells me. Sorry to all of you, but I couldn't let Club get hurt, I tell them. You scared the hell out of me. All of us, when we saw that car hit you, Roman tells me. He looks at me, but it's like he's seeing something else. Sorry, I say again as I squeeze his hand. My mom, Dad, and Selena stay for a few minutes before going to go talk to the doctor. Ethan Club come back in and start to tell me what I missed at school and stuff. Eventually, my other friends visit as well. Patton has to be held by Logan because he keeps trying to give me hugs. Well, I'm glad you're doing okay, Virgil, Logan tells me. You're officially a badass in my book, Darren tells me. Thanks, I say in return. When they all leave, Roman is the only one left. I'm sorry for scaring you, I tell him. I'm just happy you're okay, he says as he leans down to kiss me. Chapter 11. Another week passes and I'm finally able to leave the hospital. While in the hospital, I finished reading the notebooks Joey lent to me. I also did most of my homework I missed the past few weeks. The day I got home, my family and friends threw a welcome home party for me. The party is great. Everyone leaves at the end of the day and my mom has to go to work, so I head to Roman's house. I already asked my mom and she gave me the heads up for me to spend the night since it's the weekend. I'm currently laying with him in his room. He fell asleep around half an hour ago. I close my eyes, but I feel him stir next to me. No, he says in his sleep. Roman? I say as I shake his shoulder. No! He says as he shoots up. He looks at me and intensely calms down. Sorry. I just still can't get the image of you laying in that straight out of my head. I've been having nightmares every few days since then. He tells me after I ask him what he dreamt about. I was so afraid you'd never wake up. He tells me, Hey, I'm here though. I'm right here. I say as I grab his hand and place it on my chest. I am not going anywhere either. I'll be with you forever. I say as I lean in to kiss him. He kisses me back and pulls me closer. Promise? He asks. I look at him in the eye and smile softly. I promise. I say and lean on to kiss him again. I climb into his lap as he hugs me. Our fingers find each other again. We make out for a minute and I realize our souls are dark pink. I want you, I say, barely audible. He looks at me surprised. I am half surprised myself that I said that. Of course I meant it, but I didn't mean for it to just come out and say it like that. He glances over at the room and looks back at me. When he does, his soul turns embarrassed. We don't have to if you don't want to, I tell him when he doesn't respond. I do, he says and kisses me softly. I smile into our kiss Hey, Princey, are you? Oh, my bad, Carter says as he bursts into the room. Roman and I are both shirtless, lying in the bed making out. Oh, well, look at you two getting all lovey, Carter says while leaning against the doorway. Roman quickly sits up and grabs his t-shirt. Hi, Carter, I say as I grab my own shirt. Hey, Virgil, having fun? He asks me. We weren't till you barged in, I tell him. He laughs and apologizes again. I thought you were out with Mom and Dad, Roman says, annoyed. I ended up not going. Anyways, I just came here to see you if you want to watch a movie, but I can see you guys are busy, ha ha ha, Carter says with a smirk. A glance at Roman asks if he wants to. A movie sounds nice, I tell him. He smiles at me and grabs my hand. We follow Carter downstairs. He already has Netflix set up, and it's set on the Final Destination movie. I've got a major love-hate relationship with these movies, I tell Carter and Roman. Well, why's that? Carter asks. I tell Carter and Roman. Well, why's that? Carter asks. 'Cause they're good movies, but, like, the deaths frick with your head, I tell him. He laughs and says he agrees. Roman sits on one of the couches and I sit next to him. Carter goes into the kitchen and grabs a minute later with popcorn. He starts the movie. We spend the rest of the night watching stuff until I glance at the clock. Holy shit, it's 1 a.m., I say with a yawn. Let's head to bed, Roman suggests. Night, lovebirds. Remember, I'm in the house, Carter says as we head upstairs. Roman's soul gets embarrassed, but he just mumbles for Carter to shut up. I laugh lightly. When we get to Roman's room, I climb into the bed and lay down. He climbs in next to me and snuggles close. The next day I wake up to find Roman not next to me anymore. When I pull out my phone and check the time to see it's 11:56 a.m., I look up from my phone when Roman's door opens. Morning, baby, Roman says as he walks in holding a cup and a sandwich. Morning, I say, getting out of bed and going over to my backpack. It has my change of clothes and my toothbrush. I grab my toothbrush and go into the bathroom. After brushing my teeth, go back to Roman's room. Mind if I change in here? I ask when I realize I forgot to take my clothes with me to the bathroom. Go ahead, he says, opening his laptop. I grab my clothes out of my backpack and set them on the bed. A black long-sleeve shirt and gray skinny jeans. Then I pull off my shirt. As soon as my shirt lifts off, I notice Roman glance in my direction. You're welcome to watch, I tell him as he chokes on his drink. I laugh at him and change my jeans and pull out my long-sleeve shirt. Once I've dressed, I head downstairs. I can sense Carter's soul in the room and his parents' souls in the backyard. Roman turns on some music and hums along with it. A few minutes pass of us listening to Disney playlist and sitting on the couch talking. Oh my, yes, I say when a song I love comes on. It's You Are the Music in Me from High School Musical. Roman starts singing the beginning. I get an idea in my head. Troy's part's my favorite, so that's the part I'll sing. Roman's soul turns completely pink when he hears my voice. I stand up and gesture for him to sing with me. He stands up as well. We start messing around, dancing together and singing together. The song ends and Roman and I share a kiss. I pull away and notice Carter and Roman's parents standing at the bottom of the stairs. I wasn't even paying attention. When did they get here? That was adorable, boys, Elizabeth squeals. Yeah, I only threw open my mouth a little bit, Carter says. Isaiah hits Carter's arm lightly with a smile. I'm only kidding. I need a love like that, Carter says with an exaggerated sigh. Roman pulls me into a side hug and kisses my cheek. So, you like Disney music? He asks when Carter and his parents go back to their own business. Yes, I love all types of music, really. If I like a song, the genre doesn't matter much to me, I tell him. I'm not even ashamed to admit that I like all types of music. Rap, R&B, pop, rock, classical rock, regular classical, Disney, and even country. Music is something I just love. Of course, I mostly listen to things like Panic at the Disco, 21 Pilots, and Paramore, though. It's my favorite, but I have a playlist for different genres, and then I have a playlist with just a little bit of everything. When he gets back, he asks if I want to head to the park to meet up with everyone. I agree and stand up from the couch. We grab our phones and put on our shoes. Then we head to the park. When we get there, Ethan and Caleb are already sitting under the gazebo. "Hey guys," Caleb says with a smile. "Hey, you two been here long?" I ask them. "No, we got here just before you two," Ethan tells me. "Hiya guys," Pennon calls as he walks over hand in hand with Logan. "It's just us today. Darren and Brittany aren't able to come," Roman says, checking his phone. "I'm hungry," I mumble. Let's walk to Taco Bell. It's not far," Caleb suggests. We all agree and start our walk there. When we get there, we each order what we want. We all have our own money, but we give it all to Ethan, and he orders everything. While waiting for our food, we sit in a booth. "Food will be ready in a couple minutes," Ethan says as he sits next to me and across from Caleb. Across from me is Logan, and next to him is Patton, while Roman is on the other side. We talk about various things before our food comes. When our food comes, we eat and talk. Afterwards, we all head back to the park. When we get there, the park gazebo tables are taken up by some kid's birthday party, so we sit under a tree by the baseball court. I lay in the grass and hum to myself. I listen to my friends talking, but don't really say much myself. Although I'm listening to their conversation, I'm zoning out. I think back to when I was singing with Roman. It was so much fun. A smile covered my face. "What's wrong?" Ethan asked me. He must have seen my soul become embarrassed. "Nothing. I'm just thinking," I tell him and sit up. About what?" Caleb asks. I glance at Roman and bite my lip. "Oh, I see," Caleb says with a look of amusement. "What's that look for?" I say, scooting close to him. "Nothing," Caleb says with a small smile. "Oh yeah," I say, tickling his sides. He laughs and falls into me. Since I'm using soul search all around me, I see Roman's jealousy spike, but he quickly suppresses it. Caleb sits up straight when I stop tickling him. I scoot back over to Roman and sit on his lap. "I saw that," I whisper in his ear. "Saw what?" he asks softly. "No need to be jealous," I whisper again. "I'm not jealous. It was a passing feeling," he says and smiles at me. His soul turns back to a mesh of pink and yellow. "I love your soul," I tell him. "Why is that?" he asks with curiosity. "Your soul's calming," I tell him. He kisses my cheek. "That and I never get tired of seeing your love for me," I add. "You can actually see it?" he asks and I nod. "Whenever you look at me, your soul turns pink, much like mine when I look or think about you," I explain with a small smile. He looks at me with a smile. He wraps his arms around my waist and holds me while we chat with our friends. A couple hours pass before we all decide to head back. I walk with Roman to his house to gather my stuff before I head home. We get to his house and I grab my backpack. "Bye-bye, baby," he says and kisses me goodbye. After I say goodbye, I make my way home. The walk takes me 10 minutes or so, and I listen to music on the way there. As I'm walking, it starts pouring down rain. When I reach my home, I unlock the door and head inside. My mom's car wasn't there, and I didn't sense her soul. She must be gone. I drop my bag off in my room before heading down to the kitchen. I made me a cup of noodles. After eating, I head to my room. I sit at the desk and look at my pictures of Grandma. It's been a while since I talked to her. I spend the next few minutes just talking as if she's sitting right next to me. I miss her. When I'm done talking, I stand up and gather some clothes to take a shower. I go into the bathroom and undress. I climb into the shower, and I finish off turning off the water. I get out and dry off before getting dressed in sweatpants and a t-shirt. Then I head to my room, turn on some relaxing music, and head to bed. The rest of the weekend passes by quickly. Monday morning, before I even fully wake up, I feel irritable. I barely slept last night. "Today's not gonna be a good day," I mutter to myself as I push off the covers. I climb out of bed and head over to my dresser. I pull out a black skinny jeans and black long sleeve. Before leaving my room, I change and throw on all my black Converse. Now I look like a theater techie. I check my computer for the weather, and it's supposed to be cold today, so I also grab my black jacket. Now dressed, I grab my backpack, headphones, keys, and phone, and I go into the kitchen and make a bowl of cereal. After eating, I leave my house and walk to the school. While listening to Kill Everyone by Hollywood Undead. When I get to the school, I make my way to my first class. "Good morning, Virgil," Mr. Barnes says as I walk in. "Morning," I mumble. A rough morning, he asks. Didn't sleep. It's not going to be a good day today, I tell him. Oh, I see. Sometimes it's just like that. Go ahead and have a seat, he says. I thank him and sit in my seat. A couple of minutes pass when I have to take a deep breath. Since I got to class early, and it doesn't start for another minutes. While waiting for class to start, I listen to music and read a book. It's a book that Brittany lent me. It's some BL novel. She's obsessed with that kind of stuff. Since I like reading, she gave me the first book and told me to see if I like it. A few minutes pass of me reading when someone hesitantly taps my shoulder with something. I look up to see Roman with a small smile. My mood immediately picks up a little bit. I pull off my headphones and place a bookmark in my book. Hey baby, you seem out of it. Are you okay? He asks. I'm fine, I tell him. He nods in understanding and asks what I'm reading. I explain to him about the book, and he just nods along. Sounds interesting. Do you like it? He asks. Yeah, it's pretty good so far. I think my favorite character is the main character. Class starts, and I do my best to focus. When it ends, I make my way to second period. Hey, you seem in a bit of a mood, Ethan says when he sees me. Yeah, is all I respond with. After a second and third period, I meet up with Club for fourth period. Hey, Club says with a smile. Hey, I say back. Club observes me for a moment. Finally he asks, one of those days? I nod, and he understands that I'm not really in a talkative mood. After art, we head to lunch. Shit, I say to myself. Everything okay, Virg? You're not eating, Patton points out. Not really hungry. I lie. Ethan looks up from his food when I say that. I'm not one to lie, but I don't want anyone to worry just because my dumbass forgot to bring my lunch. Hey, Virg, Brittany says excitedly. How are you liking the book? She asks. It's good so far, I tell her. What book are you reading? Logan asks. I tell him the name, and he says that he's never read it. Oh, I don't know if you like books like this, Brittany says with embarrassment. She continues to talk to Logan while I zone out. While zoning out, I sense a familiar soul not far behind me. It's Joey. Good thing I brought the notebooks today to give back to him. I'll be back, I say rapidly and stand up with my backpack. I look towards the direction I sense Joey's soul and see him with Emily. I walk over. He looks up when I stop right next to him. Here you go. Thank you for letting me read them, I tell him as I hand the books over to him. Sure thing, he says with a smile. It's not fake, but it's not real either. With that, I'm done and walk back over to my friends and sit back down. I put on my headphones and listen to Monster by Skillet. The rest of the school day goes by relatively quickly. Mind if I come over? Roman asks me. I turn to him and tell him it's fine. He smiles at me, and again my mood picks up just a bit. I smile softly back at him. He grabs my hand and we walk back to my house together. The first thing we do is our homework. When we're done with that, we snuggle on the couch and watch TV. Roman's sitting normal on the couch while I'm snuggled to his side. As I'm sitting curled up next to him, I can feel my mood dropping even more. That is until Roman pulls me into his lap. What's wrong? He asks softly. Nothing really. I'm just frustrated, but I don't really have a reason other than I didn't sleep well last night. I get like this sometimes, I tell him. He nods with understanding. Anything I could do to help? He asks. Not really, I tell him truthfully. Okay then, I'll just be here for you, he says with a smile. I smile softly in return and kiss him. A couple hours pass and Roman heads home. Once he's gone, I go into my room and collapse into the bed. It's around 5 p.m., but I'm so tired, I decide to take a nap. When I wake up, it's only 7:30 p.m. Kill me now, I say, climbing out of bed. I head into the living room to find my mom sitting on the couch. Hi, honey, how's your nap? She asks when I sit next to her. Helpful, but I'm still not back to 100%, I tell her. That's good. Get something to eat and then head back to bed, she tells me. I nod and stand up. Then I go into the kitchen and make a couple noodles. After eating, I go back to my room. As soon as I enter my room, I go back over to my bed and lie down. It doesn't take long for me to fall asleep once again. The next morning, I wake up feeling more fresh than yesterday. I get up and dressed. Then I go into my bathroom and brush my teeth. When I'm done, I go to the kitchen, make myself a bowl of cereal and eat. Morning, honey. Get a good night's sleep? Mom asks. I nodded with a mouthful of cereal. That's good. Well, I'm off to the store. I'm buying stuff for dinner, she tells me as she rummages through her purse. Your keys are on the counter, I tell her as I point to them. Oh, thanks, honey. I'll see you after school, she says as she leaves. After eating, I head to the school. I am the first one of the friend group to arrive. While waiting for the others, I play a game on my phone. A few minutes pass when I sense Roman still approaching. I look up to see him walking towards me. Hey, baby, he says with a smile. I put away my phone and kiss him softly. Hey, I say back. Feeling better today? He asks and I nod. Soon our friends start to show up. Morning, Logan greets us as we first arrive. Morning, Logan. Did you finish your chemistry homework? I ask. He nods and we compare our work. I'm fairly certain you misunderstood the question, he tells me. I look down at the question and I notice he's right. Crap, I say, pulling out my pencil. I reread the question before erasing my answer and redoing it. No, that's correct, Logan tells me as he looks over at it. I should go over my other homework, I say, pulling out my history homework. Morning, guys, Pennon says happily as he approaches. He kisses Logan and then asks what I'm up to. Going over my homework to make sure I didn't get anything else wrong, I tell him and he nods. Soon Ethan, Club, and Darren arrive. I say hello to them and then we head back to first period with Roman. I sit at my desk and pull out my other homework. Didn't finish last night? Mr. Barnes asks as he sets out paper on my desk. I did. I'm just going over it because I was tired, I tell him and he continues to place papers on each desk. Well, as you could see, we have a small test, so you could check your work when you're finished, he tells me. I nod and set my unchecked homework aside. The bell rings and Mr. Barnes explains we have 30 minutes to finish the test. Then we'll go over our last night's homework. I finished my test before everyone else, but used leftover time to go over each question, something I always do if I have the chance. When I'm certain of my answers, I turn in my test. Then I head back to my desk and go over my homework. I end up having to redo a few questions for my math homework, mostly because I mixed up some of the math or skipped a step. I managed to finish checking over my homework before the class ends. When it finally ends, I head to my second period and I meet up with Ethan, and we take our seats next to each other. AP English goes by relatively fast. My teacher just quickly re-explained to us the essay we'll be working on once we finish reading our current book. After class, Ethan and I walk to gym. I like gym for the simple reason that our gym teacher doesn't make us change into our gym clothes because we never do anything hard. Usually we're walking around or playing with the PAL kids because they have gym at the same time we do. PAL is for students with special needs, students with autism, or students in wheelchairs. Hey, Marty, I say, walking over to one of the PAL students. Hiya, Virgil, he says with a friendly smile. Marty is 17 and a junior who has autism. He's a tall guy with red hair, blue eyes, and light skin. Want to play ball? I ask him. He already has a ball in his hand and is moving it in his hand. He responds by lightly tossing me the ball. I bounce it a few times and pass it back. Mind if we join? Ethan asks and pushes Kayla over, who is in a wheelchair. Kayla is 15 and a sophomore. She's short with black hair, brown eyes, and dark skin. Soon we get to the other students from both PAL and our class to play with us. We continue to play a game with them. When gym is over, we say goodbye to them and start to leave. Crane, Griffin, Miss Valen says as we walk over to her. Thanks for your help today. They enjoyed it. Miss Valen runs the PAL program. Anytime, Ethan says, and I nod in agreement. I'll see you at lunch, Ethan says and walks to his next class. I do the same and head to art. Hey, Club, I say with a smile when I see him. Hey, what's up? He asks. Not much, I say. Good, I wanted to talk to you, he says as he sits in his spot. About what? I ask, getting next to him. I'll tell you later, he says as Miss Elkins starts talking. I look at him for a moment and then at my teacher. She has us drawing a landscape with a pencil and we'll paint it tomorrow. Class ends and we head to lunch. Can we sit somewhere else today? Club asks as we're walking towards our regular table. Sure, just the two of us? I ask. He nods, saying he wants to talk to me now. Thank you all so much for listening. Sorry if that was like a really abrupt pause and then like I sound really excited now. The moment I stopped recording that last chapter, I looked at my phone and saw I got notification for callbacks for my school's production of Frozen Jr. I'm getting callbacks for Olaf. So I'm very excited to beat Olaf, hopefully. I'm going not against, this isn't like sports, you gross sports, I'm a theater kid. This isn't like sports, I'm not going against them, but like, yeah. I'm doing Olaf with like the best, one of the most talented people in the school. So 100% gonna be understudy because this person's also a senior, but also like, you know, like Olaf. I mean, for being a sophomore, I'm doing really well, but I'm really excited about that. So if you enjoyed today, give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to see next week's episode, look in the description for my Etsy shop and all my other social media links like my Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I think I've read it down there, I don't know. Also my channel's Discord's down there too, so if you'd like to check that out, please do. Thank you so much for listening. Can't wait to see you guys in summer. Do your best.